All right, what up, y'all? I'm on the beach side of this beautiful morning walk, probably about a 4-miler, 4.5-miler today. Something I've really been thinking a lot about over the past few years in my work, including when I was a salaried employee, including now when I work for myself, is different ways of thinking and strengths and weaknesses. A lot of us ADHDers, a lot of us dyslexic folks, we are really good at big picture thinking, at seeing systems, and everything is a system, y'all. Your body is a system. Sometimes your back hurts, not because of your back, because your calves and your hamstrings are tight, right? And that affects other muscles. Sometimes when we have plants and animal species that are dying out, it affects other plants and animal species because everything is a system. Everything has a purpose and a role within the system. So even within our own drives, our own ways of thinking, there's a system, right? But sometimes we're too focused on details. You can also be too focused on conceptual, philosophical systems thinking, and then it's hard to move forward because you're not being transactional enough. You're not being detailed enough. Strengths and weaknesses for everything, y'all. One of the things for conceptual perspectives, philosophical perspectives, those of us who like to do a lot of theorizing and talk about ideas, like myself, so we're really good at generating ideas. If we work on it, we might even be good at implementing them. We're not always the best at maintaining them. Or if we do, we need a team around us. We all need teams around us for different reasons. Doesn't mean that we're not able to do things on our own, right? But the point is, thinking about thinking. How much time do we really spend thinking about the way that we think? I will forever talk about this point because it's huge in some of the executive coaching I do with like VPs, C-level executives, managers, even new hires. But it's also really big in my mental health counseling, as well as some other consulting work that I do. And especially when we're talking about neurodivergent folks, especially when we're talking about Black folks and Black neurodivergent folks. Because of our different positions in this system, this world, the society we live in, the way that we think about navigating those systems are different. This is one of the primary reasons why diversity is such a huge strength. Because if you have diversity, you naturally have diversity of thought. People have different experiences from their different positions in life that they got dealt. And so you see the world differently. We don't really spend a lot of time thinking about why we're doing something. I would talk to students who were enrolled at a 4-year university studying chemistry and math and biology and statistics and physics. And for a lot of them, when I asked them why did you choose this major? They didn't know. When I would ask them, why do you want to be a physician? Why do you want to be a researcher studying XYZ? A lot of them really didn't know. They thought it was a good job. It paid well. Their parents did it, so it probably made sense for them. It's what they knew. That's what people encouraged them to do, or that's the pressure people put on them. Of course, those are all good jobs. Those aren't the only good jobs, right? But the point was, there wasn't a lot of thinking about their thinking. Now, I'm not picking on them. Most of those were undergrad students, right? Talking about people who were 18, 19, 20 to like 22 and 23 years old, typically. You're still developing your ability to rationalize cause and effect at that point. So I'm not picking on them, using that as an example. But we continue those same thought patterns throughout life. So I'm challenging you today to think about why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why am I going for these walks? Well, because I have anxiety, have depression. Even though I lost weight, my blood pressure's been high. Even though I've been eating better, I think that's from a lot of the stress, depression actually. I'm also doing these videos while I'm walking because it helps me get thoughts out of my head, helps me get rid of perfectionism. Why do I want to get rid of perfectionism, or why do I want to temper it down? Because I have a lot of things I need to do. I need to finish my dissertation. I need to write some of these books that have been kicking around in my head, both fiction and nonfiction. I need to do some workshops and some other events. And I can't sit around worrying about whether or not it's going to be perfect. I want it to be good, and it will be good. But my idea of good sometimes is unrealistic. So I walk instead of run so I can slow down. Because when I'm running, I'm focusing on running and all the mechanisms of running and the stretching behind running. When I'm walking, still getting great exercise, but I can slow down enough to think, slow down enough to talk. It's even easier to go further. So why do we do the things that we do? Why do we think it will help? Is that the only way? Challenge yourself to think about your thinking, regardless of your position in life, regardless of your identity. We all have weak areas. We got a lot of conversations in this country now about banning DEI, banning books. That's weak. Really no other way about it. Refusing to learn and understand different demographics of people because it makes you uncomfortable is a very literal definition of weak. And y'all, it's one thing that we're not. It's weak. I'm saying that while I'm pretty sure spiders crawling on me as I walk through a spider web. But you know what? It's probably a little orb weaver. They ain't gonna bite me. I ain't weak. Neither are you. Keep walking. Enjoy this beautiful world. We got this, y'all.